Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to our speaker series this afternoon. Our distinguished guest is Steve Pezzola. He is the President, Vice Chairman of the Board of Directors at the Salesian College Preparatory. I am extremely pleased to have a fellow Salesian or someone who has the heart of Don Bosco right here. Because Salesian education is that which gave me all I have today, even my own priestly upbringing. And this evening we have Mr. Joe Silveira, our school principal, a product of the Salesian education himself. One of the things about Salesians is they have a large heart. 3 systems, preventive system. One of them is loving kindness. The other is reason and religion. But today, Steve is going to talk about what it means to be educated in a Salesian school, more especially in a Salesian high school. Our school children have many possibilities. They can go to Catholic high schools nearby, but not probably everybody would go there. Some of you would go to public schools. But here is another wonderful opportunity for you. And so, Steve, I want to welcome you to our speaker series, and I want to pass this on to Mr. Silveira.
Thank you, Father Paulson.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, Steve. Welcome. Well, first off, as Father noted, we're both graduates of Salesian High School in Richmond, California. Father Paulson has these wonderful Salesian roots as well. And Steve, you, and rising up to become president, you've held a career that has been very instrumental and powerful as well. I'd like you to start from those wonderful Salesian roots at Salesian High School, and if you could express to us how you became president of Salesian High and sort of your education and growth and patterning to where you're at today.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me here at Christ the King Parish. My sister, my brother-in-law, my niece are members of the parish, the Dodson family, so it's always good to be here. Salesian was very important to me. I did graduate from Salesian High School a long time ago, but more importantly, when I was there, in my junior year, my father passed away. And I also lost my other best friend, David, who had been at Salesian, and he had died from cancer. And the Salesian spirit, the Salesian family atmosphere, and their guidance really meant something that will always be with me. They're very important to my life. From Salesian, it prepared me for University of California at Berkeley and graduated in the business school. And then I went to law school and graduated from what was called Bolt Hall, now Berkeley School of Law. I had a legal career in private practice, then went in-house as general counsel, and ultimately was vice chairman of the board of a company that went public in London, did a lot of business consulting, and had been on the board at Salesian when the president was retiring, and the search committee kept coming back to me. So this is my 3rd year as president of Salesian High School.
Salesian High School is truly blessed. You know, it's often said that the way we walk is the way our children follow. And you and your wife have 2 beautiful kids. Goodness, your daughter has received a PhD. Both your daughter and son have played college athletics. And balancing that all, I'd like you to speak to them, please.
Well, enjoy my family a lot. My wife is also a lawyer. She went to Harvard, not to Cal. Was a Cal undergrad, but and she actually volunteers at Salesian as a college guidance counseling. She helps in that department. My son David went to Claremont McKenna College and is a real estate developer in Chicago and doing a really fine job. He's a great businessman. He played college football in Division III, which I think is very important as part of a team. My daughter, as you said, got her PhD from Georgia Tech, and she had gone to Swarthmore for her undergraduate studies. And she played volleyball and basketball, always trying to one-up her brother, playing 2 sports in college.
Oh, that's fantastic. You know, for me, The 21 acres there in Richmond are sacred, aesthetically beautiful. The spirit of the Salesian order is very hospitable, very welcoming, as Father said, very kind. Let's go back to Turin, Italy for a moment and think of Don Bosco collecting all of those young men primarily during the industrial age and being patient with them and working with them. That same beautiful charism and mission and spirit exists today at Salesian. How is it still relevant today, and how does it reveal itself at your beautiful school?
Well, Don Bosco's model, was having the home where you would feel welcome.
Yeah.
The church, which would evangelize. The school that would educate you, and the playground that would give you joy. And we have that at Salesian today. And we follow it really conscientiously. And as Father Paulson had said, there's religion, reason, and loving kindness. And that, through the preventive method that Don Bosco has, teaches our students to be socially responsible young men and women. And to us, that is the most important thing. We can look at our graduates and really be proud of them.
That's awesome. Beautifully put. We talk about restorative justice nowadays, and I think Don Bosco certainly had that. He and Dominic Salvio years ago, years removed. To really understand Salesian is to visit. I mentioned that the spirit is palpable. What is it each day that is not only given but received upon coming to campus? What do you see as president that perhaps hasn't changed since you were in school, and what's manifesting now? By the way, just to align with what you said earlier, your mission statement really depicts what you've expressed earlier clearly, so that's wonderful to see too. But what is it when you walk there that pulls you into that not only beautiful environment, but where you receive that spiritual nourishment?
Well, back in the day when students could be on campus, which hopefully will come again at the end of this month, we're planning to have our HighPlex program and bring students back on. But when you enter our campus, I challenge people to come away with something different than a family spirit. When you walk onto the campus, you'll be welcomed. It's a very welcoming environment, and the students welcome each other, and they welcome new students as well. My first day on campus as president, I'm there in the center core of the campus, and we have this passing period, and we have the break period. It's 20 minutes of just absolute chaos. So the first day, I just kind of, closed my door because, I wanted to get some work done. Then I realized, well, I'm there for those students. And we had a visiting principal come in, and she said, wait a minute, when's your break period? I want to be there. I said, well, why? She goes, your students are so welcoming. I just want to stand in the hallway and just, I need to feel good today. And she goes, I want to be part of your family once again. And I think that is it at Salesian. It's really a family community atmosphere.
Steve, I would agree. And if we look at the whole child, students at Salesian are achieving physically, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. If we look at it in a bilateral sense, the success on the athletic program, fulcrum, is quite amazing. And operationally too, and even capital-wise, you folks have invested in science most recently. You have a high threshold in percent of students that go on to college at levels that are almost unprecedented, as we disaggregate other schools. So I know that's a big ask, but if you could dive in, please, first to the academic side and kind of the vision side of development at the school and what Salesian education means and what it brings. And then if you could kind of tiptoe into the athletic side as well.
Sure. So on the academic side, we have 24 AP and honors classes, which is what a lot of people who are looking at a high school want to know, how many do you have? And we've chosen that number, pretty carefully, because we want the kids to have a work-life balance. It can't just be all AP. In fact, in some schools where they have many more AP classes, if you're not taking 7 AP classes in your junior and senior year, your college guidance counselor can't check the most rigorous box, and you might be dinged going to college because you're not taking what you could take. We've also just, this past year, started the Project Lead the Way, a biomedical science pathway. And it's a 4-year program for 20 students can take it each year. And if you've taken it just one of the 4 years, you can check another box on many college applications that shows that you've taken a rigorous lab class. And so it's something that we do try to get to our students, the opportunity. So some people ask, well, does it work? And I think what really works is where do your kids go to school? So our students are accepted at UC Berkeley, a lot of them, UCLA. And this year we have 2 at Stanford, one who's just in his 2nd year and one who's starting his 1st year. So I think that the academics at Salesian do work.
That's fantastic. And on the athletic side, it's just amazing. I mean, the basketball team was ranked Division I wise, upwards to 5th in the nation. But football, baseball, track and field, certainly the extracurricular aspects of theater, and there's just so much to offer for the whole child.
It's funny that you mentioned it, because sometimes we try to hide the athletic success.
Yes.
Because some people will look at our school and go, oh, just if you're an athlete, you should go there,
right,
as opposed to the wonderful academics. But I think that, being a small co-educational school, there's an opportunity to participate. So it's easier to be the leading person in a play at a small school because there are just less students to compete with.
Yes.
It's easier to make athletic teams because, again, there are just less students going for those particular spots. And at our school, as you might remember, we have lots of clubs, and now if you find an interest that other students also participate in, you can form your own club. And so we have over 30 clubs at the school.
Fantastic.
And then, we can't shy away. Athletics has done well, and I think it does well because of the family spirit. If you're a family and your community working together, you perform better, and that's what our teams do.
That's awesome.
I have a question for Steve, but I think both Joe and Steve, both of you can respond to this. I'm a Catholic parent with a teenage son. Why would I choose the Salesian Preparatory College instead of the other Catholic schools? What is unique? What is special about Salesian? I think you should respond to the uniqueness about Salesian schools. Steve, you want to go first?
Sure. So I think, first, if you look at, the home church playground that we have, that I think that method, the religion, reason, loving kindness, as you can see it transform your child into a socially responsible young adult, I think that's really important. But also, if you look at what we mandate, which is that at Salesian, there's a religion class every semester for every student. And we have, your typical, New Testament, Hebrew scriptures, world religions. But I think most importantly, we've always had social justice and ethics. And in fact, this year, in the spring, when the George Floyd was murdered, that I asked our principal and curriculum leaders to come and have a meeting and describe to me what we were doing in our social justice class. I was blown away at what they were doing. It's just amazing. And as we sat down and talked, we realized that we wanted to make this a cross-curriculum program. So that in all of our classes, our students will see someone who looks like them being an authority or an author of a book. And also, everybody will be asked, what if you were in the minority? How would you feel as to what's happening in this particular aspect? Or if you're in the majority, what would happen? So that you could actually have our students really looking to become the solution to social justice in America.
That's excellent.
Joe, let me put this question to you. You've been through Salesian schools, and what do you say about your own unique Salesian experience growing up as a student?
Excellent question. Stephen, we spoke most recently, something that resonates for me that is long seated and standing is with 400 students you're known. So I was at the time really an only coming just outside the area and entering into sports and school life, but immediately other students, the brothers and priests, and the faculty members, just the idea of being known by name, known by your feelings and thoughts, known by your ideals. There's a real cultivation of the spirit that supersedes all. And it's, as you alluded to earlier, Steve, a real agape and a spirit that surrounds. And there's a high interest in others. So I always found that the laughter, the active listening, whether it's a sporting event and folks are supporting that, or whatever it becomes, even the polenta feeds and the old bingo days, there was just this great idea of community that transcended everywhere. And so subsequently you felt very safe, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically. And whenever a student is feeling safe, it's like mushrooms in the field, you simply grow through the experience. And foundationally and schema-wise, I felt it was irreplaceable. I also love the cultural sharing and aspects. I think the greatest learning in life, our roots give us wings. So when I went on to St. Mary's College, I felt very prepared to get along and be affable and enjoy others for where they're at and where they're going. And my whole life has been predicative around that particular openness. And I think the Salesians brought that out of me, to be open to God's call, open to His Word, open to learning, so that really still resonates. And in fact, I have a father, if I may have a little aside. Now, Steve, were you taught by Father Art Brainerd and Father Larry Byrne?
Father Brainerd, yes, for sure. And Father Larry Byrne, to tell you the welcoming part, I went to Cal, and I'm taking a calculus class the first semester, and they put up on the board what we needed to know. And I felt a little lost. And so I called the school and I said, can the calculus teacher help me? And it was Father Larry.
Yes.
He had just started at school. And he spent 3 hours with me.
Wow.
In a classroom. And then he gave me the background that I needed. I went to school the next day and they said, well, I hope no one went home and did the work. That's for the next 3 weeks. And so Father Larry got me through 3 weeks of Cal in 3 hours.
Isn't that amazing? I was blessed to be taught by Father Larry and Father Brainerd. And if we look at the heart of the charism, every morning he was at the steps of the school inviting us in. And I don't know how a teacher can do 5 preps, but he did. I believe it was chemistry, physics, I believe it was a math course at the time, police science, and psychology.
Right.
And confessions.
Yeah, right.
But we were really blessed, and I know the rectory is still there, and but what a great gift to receive that nourishment beyond the books to be able to move forward. Steve, you're a humble man and an incredible leader. You are a coach at Salesian, and I'd like you to speak about your experience as a coach and maybe pull out a couple of the girls that have gone on and their successes too, because it not only shows your big heart, but it gives folks truly a lens to, at Salesian, if you're called to help someone pick something up and move it, you don't do it by word, you do it by example. And so that, to me, as president, to be able to coach a very respected girls team and program and build that, shows your big heart and the time you're giving towards advancing the school in so many other ways too.
Yeah, well, this will be my 12th season coaching the girls basketball team, and I really enjoy it. It's my passion, and I love to carry that sport on in the hearts of others. We've had a lot of girls go through there and who played Division III, Division II, Division I, and it's hard to pull out favorite stories. But we've had 2 McDonald's All-Americans at the school.
Wow.
One, Mariah Moore, who played at Louisville, then USC, and then Angel Jackson, who just started last year at USC.
Wow.
And it's been really rewarding for them. But I think that some of the stories that are more rewarding, the ones that never get told. We're a small school, so we're really not for everybody. If you want to hide, you don't come to our school. And in one of my first years when I was as a business consultant, not there every day, one of our girls got in trouble and did something in the cafe and was not being accountable for it. So they called me, they couldn't get a hold of her mom, and I got over to school, got to the Dean of Discipline's office, and I'm there when this young lady walks in and she goes, "Coach, what are you doing here?" I said, "Well, we're in it all together. I mean, if you do
Awesome.
something in the cafe it affects the basketball program, and if you've got a problem, before you can play, we have to deal with it. You really can't hide. And she's a wonderful young lady now. She's a nurse. She comes to our games every once in a while, gives everybody a hug. And it's just that, you can't hide because we don't want you to. We want you, you're part of our family.
Right.
Steve, I have a question for you. One of the nice things we at Christ the King here, and when I was at St. Mary's in Walnut Creek, we've always been exposed to one side of Salesian High. They used to come every year during the Lenten season with the passion play. Talk to us about whatever happened to that, and do you think Salesian High would continue to interact with the local parishes with the gifts of theatrics and other gifts?
Yeah, absolutely. They have the story and song, which has been there forever, and they travel all over to do it. Just remind me and we'll set it up, because the students, we talk about the athletics, we talk about the academics, but the visual and performing arts have had some real talent that go through, and they have a real joy for it, and particularly in the story and song, they do a great job. So we'll have to make sure that they can come out. That'd be great.
I just want you to let the people know that how much Christ the King and other parishes appreciate it. And many of us folks ask me as we come to the Lenten season, are those kids coming back again? So please do carry that to your community.
I will do that.
Father, you had asked that earlier question, and Steve has done a great job. All we all want to be is loved and known. And I was accepted to Cal as well, Steve, a little overwhelmed during orientation, and called St. Mary's Mike Basita a few days in and said, I was only applied to 2 schools, was accepted at St. Mary's. But on the known level, I always appreciated from an engagement standpoint that the instructors would ask rhetorical questions. So with Socratic thought at St. Mary's College, I always felt comfortable in being able to articulate our feelings. And that was something that was really important. What do you think? Or the shared aspect of respecting someone else's opinion. And it served me very well in life too. Steve, I wanted you to mention about the vans and how students now are coming from further distances to be at Salesian High, and how it's really been a lifeblood to the school and has extended this great experience and opportunity for parents and families and students to commit to Salesian.
Yeah, we're really lucky. We've got a van program, and we have a lot of kids coming from all over the Bay Area. And if we have more than a few from an area where the parents say it's difficult to get to Salesian every morning, we have a van service that can pick them up in a Salesian marked van, and they can come with their friends to school, and they can go either one way or both ways depending upon their need. In fact, we've got one in North Concord now. We've got some in Hercules. We have some at BART stations, and we're adding them just as people and the need develops.
That's awesome. What's the long-term vision as far as development or any increase in programming? What do you foresee, you and your team, in the future, senior leadership-wise?
So, I think if you stay the same, you fall behind.
Right.
And so we're always trying to improve curriculum, like the Project Lead the Way that we've added, and we've added a few AP classes here and there as we go along. So I think you have to keep moving. I think that, building a new building at some point in the future would be really good to do it. We've just remodeled. You should come back and see the school. We've done some remodeling and some refreshing on all floors, and our science labs are now fully operational.
Wow.
So we're really happy with what's happening.
I think something that parents would really be happy with is the financial support that is then set to the school. A lot of the Catholic educations today are rivaling almost Midwest Catholic colleges as far as tuition goes, but Salesian has always done a great job of helping students and families be able to move forward and achieve. And you've done a great job with that as a school.
Yeah, it is tough economically in this current financial condition. We have a tuition. It's the lowest in the Oakland Diocese, but it's a lot of money for families. 70% of our families have demonstrable financial need, and so we have to try to find ways to take care of them. 40% of our families qualify for free and reduced lunch. They're above the AMI in our area, and so we depend upon donors to come forward and to pay money for tuition assistance so that deserving students can gain a great education.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the examples is on our website. It's a student who's a sophomore at Stanford, grew up in the Iron Triangle in Richmond.
Wow.
We were able to find a sponsor for him so that he could get his education at Salesian, and now he's at Stanford.
Isn't that amazing?
I mean, it works when people help.
That's awesome. And I know that you folks have international students as well, which again just adds to this beautiful culture,
It's amazing. The first international students that came on, about I think it was 6 or 7 years ago, and it was kind of an experiment. And now it's something that our students really welcome because as Salesian is around the world, we felt that our school should embody that. And so we have students from China, from Japan, from Taiwan. We have students from Italy. We have students from Greece, Kosovo last year, Nigeria.
Wow.
So we have students from kind of all over, and it really adds to the culture because our local students learn that Salesian is part of a bigger world, and that you need to take care of the whole world.
Well, it's like the UN now with all the flags in front of the school. And
right, yeah, we're proud of those flags.
I got a big kick out of the statue of Don Bosco with the COVID mask.
Yeah, we want him to exhibit them and model the good behavior, right?
That's awesome.
Right.
Well, Steve, today has been a true pleasure because you're a very brilliant man, very humble heart, but honestly, the way that you've spoken has depicted to our families and our students and community what the true spirit and charism of Salesian is. But I want you to go back for a moment. I first off want to thank you for sharing about Dad. May his beautiful soul rest. May your dear friend's soul rest as well. But what do you think at your stage in life and looking back, what were the ingredients that have served you well through the rest of your journey that are irreplaceable to who you are today as a leader, a very respected leader, and what you bring each day as you enter the gates of Salesian? What was it from those 4 years that propagated and just, rose up, if you will?
Well, I think that one of the things that we still do at the school is set the moral compass for our students, and Salesian did that for me. In fact, we had a heads of school meeting, which we have again this year, where parents can come and ask questions.
Yes.
And we had a mom said that she was a Christian, not a Catholic, and could I describe in 2 words why she should come to Salesian and what the religious aspect of it was.
Right.
So I negotiated for more than 2 words, of course. But I said basically it's setting the moral compass in the right direction, creating a socially responsible young man or woman. And I think that that's what Salesian did for me. It made me think about not just myself, but others, and that really we have a responsibility to help each other, which sometimes means going to help someone else, and sometimes means accepting help from somebody.
That's beautiful. Let's talk a bit about the feast day, because that's when the campus really unpacks and.
It's the week, right?
Yeah, the whole week. It's legacy driven.
It's a whole week, and it's wonderful. And I'm hoping that COVID-19 will allow us to have it in part. But as you know, we have the Mass, and we have the bishop usually comes and says the Mass, which is wonderful. And then it culminates in this Don Bosco Day, where the students will play the faculty in sports. It can be tug of war, it can be flag football. We have activities and games going around campus to really celebrate, the playground part of the Don Bosco method. So we have a day where we learn about something, the school part. We have a day of home where the kids are made to feel welcome and learn about mindfulness and things like that. We have the church day with the Mass, and the playground day. So it's an amazing week. It's one that will always bring a smile to anybody who knows Salesian.
That's wonderful. Steve, in closing, in good faith, Father Paulson and I will certainly make for sure that the information that you have given us today will be out in our newsletter. We'll also retain it in a physical way. There will be some key dates, of course, forthcoming where parents can go to the campus and engage with you folks, even in the virtual sense of the term. But I just want you to know, in the interviews that Father and I have done last night as I prepared in prayer and thoughtfulness, I was so excited to be able to be very humbled to be with such a great man.
Well, thank you very much. You're saying too much nice things about me, but thank you, I appreciate it. but it's just been great to be here, and I feel like I'm home. It's like a Salesian.
Awesome. Well, God bless you and your family and your community. And we're going to welcome you back, as Father said, many times more. And it would be great to have your children and young adults here to lead us too. But you're always welcome. This is your home. It's our home. And great reciprocity between Salesian and the brotherhood of the three of us having those great roots. So
Great.
God bless you and welcome. And we'll continue this conversation for sure.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome. Thank you.
I want to thank the two of you for joining us today. Thank you, Steve, and you're always welcome. This is a Salesian house, and the Salesian spirit is alive and kicking in Christ the King campus. For those of you who have been following us, we've been speaking to the president of the Salesian College Prep at Richmond, a wonderful alternative to many of our high school students. We have Mass at 6 p.m. This is the only Mass that we do inside the church. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. we do devotion to Mother of Perpetual Help. We can accommodate 100 people inside the church, but if you're not comfortable, you can sit in the patio outside the church. We have speakers there. And then the weekend, all the masses will be outdoors, the 6 masses. This weekend is very special. On Saturday after the 5 p.m. Mass, we have music on the lawn, and these events have been so wonderful. So many of you have come and sit in your own bubble as a family, bring your own drinks, your own snacks. And if you ever bring really, really good wine, then I come around and I can always share. And then on a Sunday, it's a day we commemorate Archbishop Dominic and Father Matthew Berlankel, who died in that tragic accident last year on the 10th of October. They were best friends of mine. The Mass is at 10:30 a.m. on Sunday. We have a lot of probably friends of these two folks visiting us for Mass that day. I'd like to invite you to that Mass. And then after our 6 p.m. Mass in the evening, at 7 p.m. we have an interfaith service, which includes our brothers and sisters from the Jewish faith, Muslim faith, and then other Christian denominations. It's a short musical prayer service. And so if you are very attracted to ecumenical services, if you want to pray with brothers and sisters from other faiths, I think this is a wonderful opportunity. I want to welcome you for that. Once again, and thank you for joining us for this evening. God bless you, and for those of you who join for Mass at 6 p.m., I'll see you there. Have a wonderful day.